faithfully delivering value and exploring global literary works. Hello, this is Sima Zhongshu. Today we're discussing the book The Chinese Educational Mission. In modern China, studying abroad has become commonplace for gaining knowledge and global perspectives. Students now participate in exchange programs during college, pursue graduate studies abroad, or even attend foreign schools starting from junior high. But do you know when China first sent students overseas? Nearly 150 years ago, during the Qing dynasty, visionary leaders recognized unprecedented historical changes and sought Western knowledge to strengthen the nation. From 1872 to 1875, the government dispatched 4 groups totaling 120 students to America, known historically as the Chinese Educational Mission Children. These pioneers initiated China's official study abroad programs. Though including notable figures like engineer Zhan Tianyu and first ROC premier Teng Shaoyi, most faded into obscurity. This book chronicles their stories. However, reconstructing their history proved challenging. Entire research materials were scattered across China and America. The authors painstakingly pieced together fragmented historical records. Co-author Qian Gang wrote the reported Tangshan earthquake. Hu Jinkao was a CCTV documentary director. The book was developed alongside a documentary series. This work represents the first comprehensive public account of this history. In this episode, we'll explore how these pioneers left their mark. Note, while characters age in the story, we'll retain the historical term educational mission children. Here, Chinese educational mission children represents both an identity and an official designation. I'll present this book through 3 key aspects. First, how was the Chinese educational mission conceived? Second, what unforeseen challenges did this program encounter? Third, what ultimately became of these historical figures? Let's begin with the program's origins. The mission's creation is inseparable from Yang Wing, its visionary architect. Born in 1828 in Shangshan, Guangdong, Sun Yat-sen's hometown, Yang came from humble beginnings. His impoverished family sent him to a tuition-free missionary school in Macau. In 1847, American missionary Reverend Samuel Robbins Brown took Young and 2 others to the United States. After preparatory studies in Massachusetts, Young entered Yale University through philanthropic support. Young made history as Yale's first Chinese graduate. His portrait still hangs on campus today. During his Yale years, Young conceived his revolutionary educational exchange plan. He resolved to bring Western knowledge back to China and create pathways for others to follow. Returning to China in 1855, Young found his ambitions initially unfulfilled. He worked in Guangzhou, Hong Kong, and Shanghai's tea or silk trades while nurturing his vision. Through all occupations, his educational mission remained his true passion. Young realized he needed powerful allies to realize his ambitious plan. Initially pinning hopes on the Taiping Rebellion movement, in November 1860, Young risked visiting Tianjin, modern Nanjing. There he presented modernization proposals to Prince An Hong Rengan. Kong Rengan had lived in British-controlled Hong Kong and possessed relatively broad Western knowledge among Taiping leadership. So his single quote, New Treatise on Political Council, presented a Western-style political framework. Impressed by Young's 7-point proposal, aligning with his own reforms, Hong showed great appreciation. Unfortunately, Hong lacked real authority, and Heavenly King Hong Shuquan remained indifferent. After prolonged waiting, Young received only an empty 4th-rank nobility title from Hong. The message was clear: nominal position without real influence. This disillusionment turned Young's focus toward king reform possibilities. In 1863, opportunity finally knocked. Zhang Guofan, having heard of Young through scholars, personally recruited him as advisor. Young soon proved his worth to Zhang. He assisted in machinery procurement for Jiangnan Arsenal and collaborated with Ding Richun While fulfilling duties, Young persistently advocated his educational mission to Zhang. At Jiangnan Arsenal, Young connected with another pivotal figure, Li Hongshang. History shows Li surpassed his mentor Zhang in westernization efforts. His Y Army adopted Western drills with English commands during Taiping campaigns. In an 1864 memorial, Li articulated clear westernization objectives. China's survival required mastering Western military technology through two methods: domestic production via imported machinery and cultivating technical experts. This vision made Li receptive to Young's educational proposal. On August 5, 1871, Zhang and Li jointly memorialized the educational mission. Their memorial hailed the mission as unprecedented in Chinese history. The plan: select 30 intelligent boys, 10 to 15 years old, annually, totaling 120 over 4 years. The study program in America spanned 15 years with full government support for all expenses. Additionally, graduates would receive 2 years funding for academic travel in America. After 15 years, students would return in batches for government service assignments. These returnees would be in their prime 30s, ready to serve the nation. On September 9, 1871, the Zhongli Yamen received imperial approval. The imperial edict contained 4 monumental characters: unprecedented educational mission. Thus, Young Wing's decades-long dream became reality. As stated earlier, this mission was inextricably linked to Young Wing's perseverance. Though he advocated for 17 years, we mustn't oversimplify this as individual heroism. History resists simplistic narratives. Beyond Young's efforts, we must recognize broader historical imperatives. China's westernization had reached critical urgency. Post-Opium Wars, Qing leadership reluctantly acknowledged Western superiority and initiated reforms. This context birthed the self-strengthening movement, advocating Chinese essence, Western utility. The educational mission emerged naturally from these reform efforts. Ultimately, this historic initiative resulted from collaboration between Young and reformist statesmen. But being unprecedented, what challenges did the mission face? This leads us to our second key aspect. First challenge: initial recruitment difficulties despite generous terms. The government offered full financial support plus guaranteed official positions. Compared to modern self-funded students, these conditions were extraordinarily favorable. Surprisingly, these generous terms initially failed to attract enough applicants. Why? In 1870s China, imperial examinations remained the respected path. Overseas study was considered radical. The Remarkably, none came from Manchu nobility or high-ranking Han families. From 1872, these 9 to 15-year-olds embarked from Shanghai, soon facing cultural collisions in America. Initially enchanted, queue-wearing youths entered a technological wonderland. Marveling at railroads and phonographs, they were placed with host families for language immersion. Connecticut's Education Board arranged homestays with professionals: clergy, doctors, lawyers. These respectable families showed exceptional hospitality and curiosity. Li Yanfu recalled his Massachusetts hostess warmly kissing him, his first ever. The bashful boy blushed crimson from this unfamiliar affection. Enrolled in top schools, they studied STEM subjects and English intensively. By 1876, they attended Philadelphia's Centennial Exposition, meeting President Grant. Local newspapers praised their intellect and decorum. However, strict cultural preservation requirements remained. Xing and Li mandated maintaining Chinese traditions alongside Western learning, the self-strengthening movement's core principle: Chinese essence, Western utility. This cultural safeguard aimed to prevent Western ideological influence. How to maintain cultural roots? The Qing established strict oversight, a dedicated office. The Chinese Educational Mission was established. In Hartford, Connecticut, the government purchased a headquarters building. Mission students living with American families had to periodically return for Chinese cultural studies. Curriculum included Confucian classics, the five classics, Book of Songs, Documents, Rites, Changes, and Spring and Autumn Annals. Supplementary materials included Zhuxi's Elementary Learning for moral education. Also studied Qing legal code and Kangxi Emperor's sacred edict from his 17th year. The recitation sessions regularly echoed through the mission building. From ancient poetry to ethical maxims, traditional texts filled the air. But did this maintain their cultural loyalty? Evidence suggests otherwise. Year by year, officials witnessed students' growing westernization. They cut cues for Western hairstyles, abandoned traditional robes, adopted American sportswear, participated in family prayers and school activities enthusiastically. Instead of pride, King officials felt deepening alarm at this assimilation. By 1880, mission supervisors deemed Western influence dangerously pervasive. The harsh disciplinary measures backfired, fueling student resentment. Students secretly dubbed their Hartford headquarters the House of Hell,